Yes, and we're live. Welcome to today's episode. We have another stellar lineup of guests here, as you know, and we're going to dive deep into the world of talent acquisition, AI, workforce strategy, and absolutely everything in between. From data to disruption, we're covering it all. So buckle up because today we have the CEO of Smartrecruiters, Rebecca Carr. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And my pleasure. How's your day?
Good. I've got two toddlers about to start preschool, so it's been a bit of a crazy morning, but I'm here. I'm ready to chat. Here we go. I'm buckling up.
Super multitasking. Love it. Okay, so we're going to get straight to the point and let you keep an eye on them. AI powered software for superhuman hiring is what I read. What does that mean?
Yeah. Smart Recruiters has traditionally been an applicant tracking system. So if you've been in the TA space or the recruiting tech space, you'd know that this is essentially the system of record for all things candidates and jobs. And we've evolved that platform over the years, but obviously with the introduction of AI products, what we've recognized is there's an incredible opportunity for disruption, efficiency, insight, faster discovery, smarter hiring by layering AI onto what is a very traditional back office business application. And so about a year or so ago, we made the arguably bold move of like throwing out the ATS roadmap and rethinking what recruiting could look like in the future with AI in the driver's seat. So, not just what I would call like fairy dust across the application, but actually taking actions across the workflow. We launched Winston, which is essentially the recruiting companion that sits alongside recruiters and does all those administrative tasks that weigh down a recruiting process. And our marketing team, of course, came up with some lovely little
Of course.
headline
It's
around
Winston.
superhuman
Yeah,
hiring.
yeah.
Well, I know,
Superhuman
but
hiring, Winston. Yeah.
actually, I think we were nodding at an important thing, which is I often get asked the question, are recruiters going to disappear in this next world of AI recruiting? I do think that the role
Let
of
me
recruiter
let me
that we know.
scrap that question
Uh,
from my list. Okay, thank you.
yeah, yeah, I know everybody asks this question. I mean, I actually do think the world of recruiting will not have the role of recruiter as it exists today. I don't think that means that those people won't still play a role in a hiring process. I just think that they will be more strategic and more advisory in this in the whole journey, the candidate journey, the hiring journey that exists. And For me, AI is like the super suit on top of a recruiter that just makes them faster and smarter, which is how we came to superhuman. And we thus used a lot of superheroes in some of our ads at one point in
Oh
time, but
Lord. Yeah, you put a
all
cape
because I
on it.
made some comment. I put a cape on it. Yeah, that's what that's about.
Put a cape on it. Well, cool. As you just described, you went through a whole transformation with SM last year, developing this new
Mhm.
ATS. What did you learn? What was like the big
Yeah.
number one learning?
So I The big number one learning was actually more internal than it was external. And that when you're a CEO of a company that has had like a long legacy of vision that's they've been working on for a long time, turning the cruise ship and motivating hundreds of people to run very, very quickly at a new vision is kind of difficult. And I realized that if I was going to motivate my engineers, my salespeople, my marketing team, my customer success team, what I was going to need to do was be extremely transparent around why this was important and what they would get on the other side of it. And so we rewrote actually the values of the company. We had for over a decade had a set of values that were developed by our founder and several of the employees many, many years ago. And we said, new world, new moment. This is what you can expect from me. And it's going to be like deep grit and commitment. It's going to be better collaboration that we've ever seen before. It's going to be maximum transparency. I'm going to publish my executive team's notes every week to all of you, so you know exactly why I'm making the next decision and what data is driving that and why it's important. And we're going to do this together. And it was a little bit of a risk because when you expose that much to all different levels of an organization, you can get very mixed signals. And I think for me, it actually had the opposite effect. It was an amazing amount of camaraderie and speed and really loyalty to the mission, the vision, what we were going to
Like
do,
way
to our
more
customers, to
engagement.
the
Like,
outcomes. Oh, our engagement grew through the roof. And I realized that, wow, more than ever, context is king. Like, really, just giving everyone context on the moment made a big difference. Now, I'd say second to that was the first reaction I got from my people was our customers are not going to like this. They have this feature that they're looking for. They have this new product that they were expecting on the roadmap. You're going to cut it all off and throw it away. You're not going to give them quarterly releases anymore. You're going to move to monthly releases. You're not going to show them a roadmap for the next 2 years. You're going to show them a roadmap for the next 6 months. This is not going to be met with excitement. Quite the opposite. I think people were ready for it. Customers were like, thank you for doing something different,
yeah,
because the stagnation in this space is so awful that we want to see progress. And if this is what progress looks like, we're here for it.
I'll
And they
take it.
leaned in and they became design partners, and it actually ended up being one of the best moves we made. And our gross retention even grew. Our customers wanted to stay with us. They became a deeper part of the conversation, and it ultimately led to better and higher quality products. So I'll take it.
They probably believe more in it. Yeah, but I mean, this sounds amazing, obviously, right? Internally, externally. There must have been some type of failure, some type of wrong move, something that blew up. What was it?
Yeah, I have spent a lot of my career in startups, very, very small companies. I've also worked for really big ones. And I have this agility to the way that I work that is, oh, if you like, I can report to this boss and then report to this boss and have a totally different organizational structure today versus yesterday. And so we moved a lot of teams around really, really quickly. And that some pieces of the organization like R&D responded really, really well to it, because it was like them going into a new company and they were excited about a new task. That wasn't necessarily the case in every piece of our org. I If I could do it all over again, I would be more thoughtful about the speed at which I changed people's managers and moved, and how frequently I changed their managers and what that looked like, because people build relationships, they feel comfort in knowing what to expect from the day to day. And my somewhat crazy radical startup mindset of, oh, whatever, it's just we're all at the same goal, it doesn't matter if you report to Jim or Bob. I might have underestimated that, but we worked through it. We all talked about it. There were those little hiccups along the way,
Fair enough.
and it worked in the end.
If that's it, then that's it. Yeah, and I mean, and that's also where the human side comes from, right? So there's the AI and the
Sure.
super side, which was strategy
Yeah.
that worked very well,
Yeah.
and then there's the human side you need to deal with a little bit as well. And
Yeah. There's emotions.
absolutely. And during that change, SAP came by. This became a conversation that was growing towards, a new deal. Did that change something for you or your plans that you were working with at the moment?
Uh, it didn't. I actually think it validated them. They were coming to us because they saw great product innovation. And they, like so many other large vendors in this space, are larger. They don't have as much agility. They have really broad organizations with maybe not a ton of matter expertise in certain very very small industry verticals or workflows. And we were that to them in the recruiting space. And it was a culture that they were interested in investing in. It was a roadmap that got them excited. Our core product, the one that we'd worked on for well over a decade, was an incredible match for them and their ideal customer profile. So we could easily slot into their world, but in a newer and different and more accelerated way. And so, if anything, I'd say this moment and their intent to bring us under their wing has only accelerated that vision and gotten them more excited. This acquisition, unlike so many, is a bit different in that all of the people at Smart Recruiters are staying the same. The product is not going anywhere. And you see a lot of these kind of fold in, or I've seen all the stuff on LinkedIn, like they're going to get swallowed by SA. I actually don't think that that's the strategy of this deal at all. I think they very intentionally are letting us breathe
They're going to
and
probably
grow.
put you in
And
the
yeah,
trenches and spearhead this thing. Because yeah,
yeah, I
like
mean,
me, for me, it's easy. I'm an
yeah,
outsider. For me, SAP sounds old school, and Smart Recruiter sounds like a new generation. So, what do you predict
sure.
that future will look like? Do you think they will slowly adapt towards you guys instead of the other way around?
Uh, I mean, SAP is a massive, massive organization. And I'd make the comment that I also sort of walked into this conversation with this assumption that they were very old school. Um, I will say there are pockets of that business that are not old school at all. And their thinking around AI technology and the amount of people and investment that they are putting into the research and development of great AI products was more impressive than I expected. Whether or not they brought those products all to market yet is dependent on sort of the vertical or the work with the business application that they're working on. But I will say that they do have an infrastructure that's very, very advanced around some of these topics, specifically around data intelligence and AI, that will only be value add to the smart recruiters world. Do I hope that maybe some of the organizational design and agility and customer programs and support structures that have frankly gotten us to where we are today will be carried over into their world? Absolutely. Do I think that they hope the same too? Yes. I think they want the best of us. That's why you acquire companies. And I'm hopeful that because technically I'm the only employee of SAP because everyone else is still working for the entity Smart Recruiters and I work for SAP in this new world. They won't necessarily be immediately exposed to, the behemoth processes that we all know of
Yeah.
100,000 plus person companies. So I'll try to protect that. I'm sure a bit. There will be other things that are, will seep their way in, but innovation roadmap, great products is not going to be one from my perspective. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we wish
they're gonna
you the
they'll
absolute
come
best
through.
of luck also in closing and finalizing that deal and working out how to do it on a day by day.
Yeah, thank
Exciting
you.
times for you. Which is, I guess, also the reason why, unfortunately, we don't get to see you on stage,
Yes. Yeah.
right? We're
Yeah.
gonna have to,
I had hoped to be there, but you're hitting me right at a pretty big moment, which I did not anticipate. So I appreciate the flexibility. And you will see Rob Simons, who is our EVP of EMEA, that is going to be there. He's been with the business for a very long time. Actually, ironically, we stole him over from SuccessFactors SAP many years ago, and him and I were the team that traveled around Europe in the very, very early days. He was the first employee in Europe. And we acquired some of our best and biggest customers that are we still value so much today and continue to collaborate with us quite deeply.
so we're gonna miss you, but we have, still some very spectacular stories on stage. So looking forward to that.
Yes. Yep.
Now, SAP aside, right? And maybe even smart recruiters aside, AI is going so fast. Like, what will be the future of recruitment in general? Will there be
Yeah. Yeah.
recruiters left? Like, if we skip forward like 20 years, what do you see?
I could get super visionary on you on a couple themes, but I'll say
Yeah.
one thing, which is the recruitment is 82% administrative, which is like ridiculous,
That's
if I'm just
that
being
is
honest.
such a
Like,
boring
like
stat also. But
it
sorry, yeah.
it is such a boring stat, but also it is shocking in that I remember when I went to go get my first job, I literally like walked in, I was a lifeguard, of all things. I like walked in
Okay.
to the it was like a country club or something like that I went to. And I filled out a little paper application and they interviewed me and I walked around and they gave me a tour and they're like, "Can you start tomorrow?" And that was it. And that whole experience was connected and engaging and conversation. And yeah, there was me filling out like the legalese form at the start of it all,
Mm.
but it wasn't the entirety of the process. And if you look at where recruitment has gone as we've pulled ourselves online, all recruiters and candidates do is fill out forms and get approvals and uh, chase people for feedback and read that feedback and organize that feedback and screen lists of people that are coming online. And I think that's super sad because finding a job is probably one of the most relatable experiences for adults around the world because almost every single person you've spoken to has found a job,
Yep.
and yet we have failed to do the one thing that's super meaningful in that process, which is allow people to connect with one another, understand the work they're going to do, understand the people that they're going to work with, and make selections that are going to be meaningful and high impact for their lives. When we went online, all of that connection got taken out of it essentially, and it was moved to automation. And so I think if AI does its job right in the recruitment space, recruiting will be boiled down to four major decisions that will be made
Ooh,
between companies and candidates.
here we go.
One will be, uh, who do I need? Like that decision, AI will make recommendations. It will probably tell you if you need agents or if you need people. It will design a set of skills and projects that those people will do. But you, as the company, will need to go, yep, I agree. Decision one, I agree that that is right. And I would like to move forward and take the action of finding that person or that agent quickly. Decision one. Decision two will be, okay, decision made. Here's five people all ready to go. Which ones do you want to talk to? Like, they're ready to work, they meet the requirements, they were selected in an unbiased way, they're within 50 miles of your location. Here they are. Decide the one you want to talk to right now. You'll pick one. All the interview scheduling, everything will be done. Then there will be decision three. Do you want to hire that person? Do you agree that after connecting and having that conversation with that person that they're the right fit for your business? If yes, move forward. If not, go back to the other four. And you will decide if you want to hire them. And then the world of AI will come forward with a massive onboarding plan that will say, here's the plan to make this person successful. Did we miss anything? Like, let us know what you think. And you'll say, yep, that looks good. And then that person will show up and they will be doing the work that they are doing. How they are found and sourced, how they're scheduled, how they're screened, what they're paid, who approved it, if it matches the requirements of your budget, what their KPIs are going to be. Like all of that can be automated, but the four human moments that are so critical will be surrounded by what I've seen a lot of our customers call recruiters, talent advisors in this new world. They will evaluate those decisions and audit those decisions to make sure that they're continually aligned with the business objectives of that organization. And they will connect with those people. They will build relationships with them. They will be evaluating all the soft skills that are so important to making people successful, and they will move those people through the process. Now, on the more radical end of that equation, I also think that the construct of a job as we know it will not exist. Like this idea that you have a job description with requirements that are static and qualifications that are static and all that will shift. I think there will be opportunities. I think there will be work. But I think that people will be matched to projects, people will be matched to skills, people will be matched to opportunities that could take all different shapes and sizes based on the requirements of that business in accelerating its strategy forward. And this idea that people go online and they search for jobs and they apply to hundreds of jobs, like, is a very outdated process in 3 years. And that it's more likely than not that agents will act on behalf of candidates to find opportunities that are matching of the very dynamic skill set of every person sitting around the world, and they will be matched much faster than the traditional construct of here's what I know and here's what I did and
Mm.
this is what's static about me. So I do
So
think that tech will have to adapt to this moment.
it sounds good. It sounds like AI will serve us human moments on a silver platter and take out all the noise,
Hopefully. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, yeah,
I'll
hopefully.
take that. I actually wanted to ask you what should have been on your CV that isn't on it, but obviously that's lifeguard.
No, like actually what's not interestingly enough, the first paycheck I ever received, I was a ballet dancer growing up. I loved ballet and I danced for the Boston Ballet and I was a child dancer in their like season productions. So I my first check ever was as a ballet dancer,
I
which
don't.
I don't put there because it's completely unrelated to the work world, but it
Is it
is,
though?
I still have it framed.
Of course,
I'm
as
pretty
you
sure that
should. And
I was required to for child labor laws or something like that, but
I'm even more
it is
disappointed we
fun.
don't get to see you now.
I,
That
I
would have
am very
been,
graceful.
yeah, I would have been a terrible, surprise on stage. But
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
that's good. Do you think recruitment tech is going to work tech? Is that a way to say what you
Mm.
just sort of elaborated on? Like, hey, we're
Oh,
going way deeper out of the shallow of just trying to find each other versus, hey,
I
if we find all the depth of the people
well,
and the projects, we can link them.
you could argue that it's depending on the way you look at it, they're one and the same because recruiting is is a work process
Hmm.
that's super. It's required to drive and grow businesses and make them productive. But I would say the one thing about work tech that is uh, absolutely something that recruiting tech will have to evolve into is that it is in the flow of work. I wake up every morning and I actually, interestingly enough, Smart Recruiters is not really an email culture. We do almost everything on Slack. And that's including company announcements and videos and priorities and all of that. Like we use email for our customers and prospects and folks like that, not for working with one another. And one of the things that I think is broken about a lot of business applications, including applicant tracking systems, is it's one more system I need to go log into, I need to go learn, I need to take an action, I need to remember my password for, I need to yada, yada, yada. And actually, what should happen is that all of those actions that are required of hiring managers and interviewers and executives, they should all be happening in the flow of work. And the flow of work is work tech. And so I don't think that the construct of the master system of record will suddenly become work tech. I think that all the actions required to move that workflow forward will happen in work tech. And it's highly unlikely that the adjacent users of the recruiting process, so think coordinators, interviewers, hiring managers, executives, will ever log into the ATS. They will do everything in Teams, they will do everything in Slack, they will do everything in ServiceNow, they will do everything on text or WhatsApp. And that the people that will log into the back office systems will be analysts that are doing reporting and intelligence on the recruiting workflow. It will be recruiters that are auditing the four decision points, and managing and having conversations with candidates, but that approvals and reviews and ratings will happen in Zoom, will happen in Slack, will happen in Teams, things like that.
Well, that makes sense. Um,
Mhm.
Do you believe in the end, like if you look at internet in general, right? The big like huge five companies, their old vision was we're going to try and capture the entire internet in one place. So if you look at like a WeChat or even Meta,
Yeah.
adding all these different things under one flag. Do you think you just named like 10 different platforms to use, right? Do you think there will be one super app ever?
Oh, that's a really good question. Uh, no, I don't think there will be one. I think I think there might be a handful that will have and maximize market share. Um, I think that I would argue that there will, that for certain things, like for back office software, there will be certain platforms that all work interact with. That doesn't mean, though, that there won't be specialty verticals that will own certain pieces of that. It's very difficult to be something for everyone. That's why ICP exists in the B2B application world. Even we have an ICP as a company. We don't sell to every brand in the world, nor do we have the resources or by resources I mean people and money to actually create that fast enough to keep up with the pace of innovation. What I do think could happen, though, is we think about like in the core HR, we think about the big three: Oracle, SAP, Workday today. Do I think that they will always be the big three or the big two or the big one? No, I actually think the next big thing is being created right now. The thing that will disrupt them doesn't isn't something we all know the name of yet. But if you talk to the investor community, they would tell you that what they are looking for is the AI application, the business application, or B2B software model, powered by AI, that will actually take out Workday, will take out SAP, will take out Oracle. And that will happen so fast because it will be so intuitive and so aligned to human behavior and so smart that the other bigger platforms will not be able to adapt quickly enough to
Yeah.
their core technology stack and their commercial structure to outpace them. And that every investor in the world is looking for that company right now, and they haven't found it yet, or maybe some of them believe they have. But I think there is a chance that they will be disrupted. But as I'm talking just about the core HR vendors, do I think that same app will take out Salesforce? No, probably not. Or I don't think so, because Salesforce is serving a different workflow in sales and MarTech and all the above. Or do I think they're going to take out Microsoft, which is also solving a different? No. So I think you're still going to have these big behemoths, but I think they will change up based on AI adoption and acceleration. Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest things we've seen lately is like one tech innovation can change human behavior so quickly. And once that's done,
Hmm.
that's when, the door opens and a killer can come in to really attack the big ones. So looking forward to
Sure.
that on a
Sure.
personal level, at least. I have three
Yeah.
questions left. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is, what would be your vision for the next 18 months on the entire game?
Yeah. Well, my vision for the next 18 months is to boil the recruiting workflow down to those four decision points and to do it very quickly. Um, I don't think we have time for that vision that I described to take more than a year to 2 years. I
Okay.
think that like AI is accelerating so quickly that if companies don't change the way they work and adopt to the moment quick, in response to that, they themselves will not grow fast enough to be a powerful player in the market. So my radical transformation of smart recruiters, that people call radical, in the last year, I call it survival and adaptation to the moment. If you as a
Ooh.
business aren't thinking more, uh, more. more visionary about what your space will do. You're still stuck in the feature list that your customers have been requesting for the last 5 years. You're going to miss the moment. And so for me, we are, despite the fact that we still have features coming inbound that people are like, I would really like to see the product do this. I would really, it's not that I don't empathize with the fact that, yes, I agree. I would love for my product to do that. I just don't think it will be relevant in
Because there's a
18
new
months.
tool.
And
Yeah.
because there's a new way of work that is coming, and my vision for the next 18 months is to do what I described in 18 months, which is actually a pretty massive task when you're talking about working with some of the world's largest businesses and rolling out new technology that is needs to be compliant and is highly regulated and all the above. There's a lot of moving pieces there, and I'm gonna do it. I like very
I love
certainly,
that
like, I'm
energy.
gonna do it.
Boom, you're just
Yeah.
gonna do it. I like that quote actually. They say it's radical, but actually it's survival. I think that's, that could be, yeah, a lens to look at a lot of different things with,
Yeah.
which I think is cool.
Yeah.
There's two left, and I wonder in which way to do this. No, let's keep it on quotes first. Do you have a key quote, a piece of quick wisdom? It doesn't matter, as long as it's important to you. It could be from the business world, personal, mentor, bad movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, bad movie. I do actually, and I keep it as a post-it note on my computer
Here
every
we
day.
go.
Yeah. So I do. I like to think of myself as a CEO that does bold things. Um, I I also have felt as though that is often met with friction depending on who I'm speaking to or the moment. And I'm a believer in solving a problem, and I'm going to solve that problem. And it's not going to make everybody happy every day. But it's going to get to the outcome we all need and want. And as a result, I get great opportunities that come my way, like SAP that wants to acquire us, or the job to be a CEO. I started as a director at Smartrecruiters and moved my way up to be the CEO. I wasn't hired here as the CEO. I took each opportunity and reached for the next one. And when they called me and said, you're getting tapped in," my first reaction was, "Oh, all that work! How lucky of me!" And a mentor said to me one day, he said, "You are good at what you do, not lucky." And I have to remind myself that all the time, because oftentimes when you walk into moments where you feel like you're being gifted something, it somehow takes away from all that amazing work that you did to get to the moment that was
Absolutely.
really good work that made them realize that. And you don't do yourself any favors in asking for what you deserve and asking for what that next step is. And so he said to me, he was like, "You are good, not lucky. Don't apologize. Ask for what you need. Tell them what you believe. Move forward."
Boom.
Um, and I love that quote, and I will always keep it as a reminder on my laptop.
A very good one indeed. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. I think luck isn't a player anymore at this level. It can be at the
Fair.
beginning,
Yeah. Yeah. True.
but after a while,
Yeah.
we've filtered enough luck out to make sure that it's quality, and I think you proved
Yeah.
that very
Yeah.
well. So congrats again on that as well.
Thank
We're
you.
going to wrap it up with a big strategic question. So when it comes to global talent, is there a real shortage? Is it about, innovating to find the right talent, or is the foundation of that strategy just about getting the basics right?
I would argue that there is a shortage of skills that are required to do a lot of the things that I just described. Do I think there's a shortage of people to learn those skills? No, there is a skill development problem. That's one thing I would say.
Mhm.
Um, I'd say the other thing is like I walk with my father every morning. We go on a walk together. We live close to one another, and we go and talk about big things. And the other day, he was talking to me about the workforce and how there's all this concern that AI is going to disrupt it and there's going to be no more jobs for the next generation. And I will say a couple things. One is, I think we underestimate what the next generation is capable of learning and creating. And that just by creating new things, you will create new opportunities. But also, the sheer size of the workforce that's like coming up into maturity right now is smaller than the one is that is retiring. So especially in the United States. So uh for the amount of jobs that exist or that are staying more stagnant, you have seen birth rates decline over the last many years. You've got the boomers that are starting to retire. I do think that with the combination of job creation as a result of innovation and new opportunity and sort of the current size of the 20 something 30 somethings, there's going to be plenty of opportunity. It's just that it might not be in the jobs that we all talk about as commonplace today. As a good example,
Exactly.
for a very long time, project manager was one of the most common jobs in the world. I don't think it will be in the future, but there
That's
will
a
be
tool.
some other job out there that we
Yeah.
haven't thought of. That will be a tool, and that some construct that is supporting of project management or in designing these types of products or making them faster or more efficient will exist. And that my children, I mentioned at the beginning, I have two preschoolers, are going to be the people that create and prompt and grow these types of tools and technologies, and that those opportunities will exist for them. It's just not what we have dreamed up yet.
One hell of an answer. Amazing. Um, Actually, I'm just going to squeeze one extra just because we can. If you were to
Sure.
come to Amsterdam and you would have been on stage and we would have challenged you to do it with one slide only, what message would have been on that slide? What idea, what vision? Is it something you already discussed with us, or is there still an ace up your sleeve somewhere?
Mm. It's a good question. I would have had three slides, but for one, I mean, my vision is very simple. And I actually never said it in this conversation, but I talked about four decision points and things like that, but it's boiled down to one very simple statement, which is the objective of our industry should be to make hiring easy. And I would probably have a lot of commentary around that slide, but I would probably put it up there because it's the one thing that for the last many decades, all of us have been trying to do and we have not done yet. It is the one like unreachable outcome that hasn't existed yet. And what does that mean? Well, it could mean boiling it down to four decision points. It could mean moving it into the flow of work. It could mean, headless ATSs, which is a whole thing I could have gone into with you, which I'm very excited about. It could mean adaptive UIs. It could mean a whole slew of things. But if we can do that, if we can make it easy for people to be connected to opportunities, we will do better for this world and this moment and people's lives and the impact that they need in order to grow their families and feel success and feel purpose. And if there's one thing I am like aiming at, it is that. And I don't think I will ever get there because it will always be a moving target with the acceleration of technology. But I'm going to try to step that much closer every year. And as a product CEO, I think that's my job and that's what my employees are doing too. So, yeah, that's probably the way I would just put that vision out there and I talk about how we get there.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you wrap up a podcast. What an answer. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I feel like we could do this for hours. I feel like you should definitely
Yeah,
come back another year or a better time to climb on the stage and share your wisdom with us. Because it's going to be a
sure
lot
I
of fun
will.
in September and we're going to miss you a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a great event. We're super excited. I was super bummed when I called Sharda and said, I can't, it's just the like perfectly wrong day. But for this acquisition moment. But it will. Rob will be there. I will certainly make an appearance in future years, and I wish everybody a good time and good luck with the rest of the planning.
Well, thank you so much. As we continue to navigate the changing landscape of global talent strategy, I'm sure everyone listening took something away from today's podcast. Make sure you join us for the Global Talent Strategy and Intelligence Conference in 2025, which is obviously this year in September, right here in Amsterdam, and be part of the future of the workforce transformation. Until next time, stay ahead of the curve. My name is Ron, and thank you again, Rebecca, and good luck with everything.